ओम वक्रतुंड महाकाय सूर्यकोटि समप्रभ निर्विघ्नं कुरु मे देव सर्वकार्येषु सर्वदा। ओम श्री महागणपतये नमः। ओम श्री गुरुभ्यो नमः। हरि ओम। सदाशिवसमारंभां शंकराचार्यमध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्तां वन्दे गुरुपरम्पराम्। अस्मद्गुरुभ्यो नमः। श्रुतिस्मृतिपुराणानाम् आलयं करुणालयं नमामि भगवत्पादं शङ्करं लोकशङ्करं। शङ्करं शङ्कराचार्यं केशवं बादरायणं सूत्रभाष्यकृतौ वन्दे भगवन्तौ पुनः पुनः। ईश्वरो गुरुरात्मेति मूर्तिभेदविभागिने व्योमवद्व्याप्तदेहाय दक्षिणामूर्तये नमः। ओम श्री मेधा दक्षिणामूर्ति स्वामिने नमः। ओम सहनाववतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ओम शांति शांति शांति। हरि ओम श्री गुरुभ्यो नमः। हरि ओम। ओम भद्रं कर्णेभिः शृणुयाम देवाः भद्रं पश्येमाक्षभिर्यजत्राः स्थिरैरङ्गैः स्तुष्ट्वागुं सस्तनूभिः व्यशेम देवैतं यदायुः। स्वस्ति न इन्द्रो वृद्धश्रवाः स्वस्ति न पूषा विश्ववेदाः स्वस्ति नस्तार्क्ष्यो अरिष्ठनेमिः स्वस्ति नो बृहस्पतिर्दधातु। ओम शांति शांति शांति। हरि ओम। नमस्ते once again everyone.
नमस्ते गुरुजी, प्रणाम।
नमस्ते गुरुजी। नमस्ते गुरुजी।
नमस्ते नमस्ते। So those of you who want to chant can unmute yourself and chant after me. ज्ञानमात्रे यद्यपि
ज्ञानमात्रे यद्यपि
सर्वाश्रमीणाम् अधिकारः तथापि संन्यासनिष्ठा एव ब्रह्मविद्या मोक्षसाधनम् न कर्मसहिता इति भैक्षचर्यां चरन्तः संन्यासयोगात् इति च ब्रुवन् दर्शयति। Good. Thank you. So, Bhagavan Bhashyakara, after demonstrating how Mundaka Upanishad complies with the three features, namely Sambandha, Prayojana and Vishaya of Anubandha Chatushtayam, has now taken up for discussion the fourth feature, namely Adhikari, the person who is the candidate, qualifying as the candidate for getting the full benefit of Mundaka Upanishad, or for that matter any other Upanishad, which is moksha. So even though in this context we are generally taught and told that it is that a person who is sadhana chatushtaya sampanna, one who has got the fourfold qualification, is an adhikari for the moksha pursuit. Here Bhashyakara presents the idea of adhikari in a slightly different manner. because he wants to establish certain technical points through this introduction. And here he says that sannyasi is the main adhikari of Brahma Vidya. And by sannyasi, he means a person who has renounced Vaidika karmas. Of course, he does not deny the other part. He concedes that people belonging to all the four ashramas, namely Brahmacharya, Grihastha, Vanaprastha, and Sannyasa, all have eligibility or right to pursue this knowledge, this Brahma Vidya. But they are secondary adhikaris. The main adhikari of Brahma Vidya is a sannyasi or a person with sannyasa nishta. That point he wants to highlight here. And through this, he wants to highlight or to dismiss the view of those who held that one has to pursue a combination of Vaidika karmas ordained in the Veda Purva Bhaga and Brahma Vidya taught in the Upanishads to attain moksha. Bhashyakara wants to emphasize that the message of the Upanishad is jnana matrena moksha. And therefore, performance of Vaidika karmas is not required once a person has come to jnana marga. The contrary view of the opponents is that once a person has been introduced to Vaidika karmas through Upanayanam, ritual, etc., these karmas cannot be given up until death. So, there is no question of taking sannyasa by, giving up or renouncing all the Vaidika karmas. And that is why those people do not even accept sannyasa ashrama also. As we discussed in the last class, for them sannyasa ashrama is something only mentioned in the Vedas to glorify, some glorification, that's all. And another reason for Bhashyakara insisting on sannyasa nishta eva Brahma Vidya moksha sadhanam is that a sannyasi does not have any ashrama karma or any laukika karma. And he will be living on bhiksha. He won't waste time cooking his food and all that. So whenever he is hungry, he will go some bhiksha, he will eat and survive. Somebody would have given him one set of clothes, he will manage with that. So, with no other commitments, with no other pursuit, either Vedika or Laukika, the sannyasi, he or she will be able to exclusively commit to the pursuit of knowledge. And of course, this knowledge does require exclusive pursuit for the goal of moksha to be attained. And to give up Vaidika karmas and take up exclusive pursuit of Brahma Vidya is not that easy for most people. Because somehow the karma nishta is so strong. What happens is you have your Upanayanam at 7, 9, 11 years. And then if you are really, from a religious background family, these days Upanayanam ceremonies are celebrated only to entertain friends and relatives. Big gathering in big hall and all they will book. Sometimes some Upanayanam ceremonies are more lavishly celebrated than even marriages. Then what happened? Maybe on that particular day when the Upanayanam ceremony is there, that boy may do some madhyanam or if it is early, or otherwise he will skip that also. Sayam Sandhya he will do. Next day, if the priest is available, probably he will come and help him do the Pratha Sandhya or Madhyanam or Sayam Sandhya. If the priest is not available, that's the end of the Sandhya Vandanam for that boy. Because the father may not know anything about Sandhyavana. Yes, he might have the same thing would have happened to the father also. So father can't teach the child how to do Sandhyavandana. So what happens? Even if there is a Vaidika family and the boy is introduced to all the karmas, because there is one more karma which is called Brahma Yajna, which is also to be performed every day by Grihasthas, Anaprasthas, and also Brahmacharis. These days we perform that only once in a year on the annual, what's that called, Upakarma day. And before everything, just perform the. But Brahma Yajna is to be performed every day, because you perform Brahma Yajna as though it is you are performing Panchamaha Yajnas. So even if you are doing all that, this karma nishtha becomes stronger and stronger. And therefore one thinks that if I have to give up this karma nishtha and take to sannyasa for pursuing moksha, it is very difficult. I cannot risk it. At least for backup, I should keep karma nishtha. Because suppose perhaps we don't get moksha through jnana, at least karma should come to our rescue. Some punyam we will get. And as I was mentioning towards the end of the last class, the truth is that if a person does not have conviction that jnanam alone will give moksha, jnanam will not give moksha. And here, mind you, we are not talking about moksha after death. Then nobody knows. There is no proof of real moksha after death. Whatever happens after death has been given a name moksha in the Puranas. So we think that moksha means going to some, Swargaloka or Brahmaloka, etc. That is not moksha at all. Moksha is, Jivan Mukti is moksha. While living, you get liberated, free from the samsara problem, samsara roga, bhava roga. So if you do not have the conviction that the jnanam will give moksha, jnanam will not give moksha. It will not bless you. Because if I still consider that permanent happiness or the solution to the problem of samsara, it can come from changing the setup, then my understanding of Vedanta will not be complete. Because if one thinks that something else other than me is the source of happiness, then it means that the person has not understood the Ananda Swarupa of Atma. And if this is not understood, then he cannot get moksha. Because understanding that I am Satyam, Jnanam, Anantam, Brahma is what will give you moksha. That is the knowledge. And Bhashyakara is dwelling on this, mainly emphasizing this as a technical point, that karma support is not required to get moksha. And what he emphasizes is the spirit of sannyasi. Should be there. Whether you take actual sannyasa, formal sannyasa or not, even if you are in the grihasthashram or vanaprasthashram, if you possess the spirit of a sannyasi, if you possess sufficient atma anatma viveka, you understand that very well, and you are able to overcome all your raga dvesha problems, Because of that, that alone is jnanam, that alone will give moksha. And karma phala will not give moksha. Because we should know, if we take this treatment, I will be cured. Suppose you have got a fracture in the leg and you are taking some medicine for stomachache. Will it cure the leg problem? No. Whatever is required to be done for the fracture in the leg, that treatment only you have to take. And therefore, sannyasa nishta eva brahma vidya. And also, if a person thinks that I will combine both of them, okay, I understand sannyasa nishta eva, but I don't want to give up karma. I will combine both of them. Then I can get moksha. His approach will also be wrong. That means what? He doesn't have shraddha. He doesn't have shraddha in his jnanam. That jnanam itself will give moksha. If that is the case, he has not understood, and that means he has not gained jnanam. So the very nature of jnanam he has not understood, then how he will gain jnanam? How can jnanam come? I think it is, remember, in Ramayana, I think, it is said that once Brahmastra is used, and after Brahmastra, if somebody tries to use another weapon, then the Brahmastra will become ineffective. If a person has used Brahmastra and he thinks that perhaps this Brahmastra may not work, so let me try to use another weapon along with that, then it is said Brahmastra will not work. That is the dignity of Brahmastra. So Brahma Jnanam is also like that. There it is Brahmastra, here it is Brahma Jnanam. So if along with Brahma Vidya, you try another thing, it will not work. Brahma Vidya will not work. In fact, if you would have observed, experienced this. There are some very dignified people to whom you have given some work. And if they come to know that the same work you have given to someone else also, thinking that if this person doesn't do it, others will do, then this person will give up his job. He will say, you can get it done from others. You don't have faith in me that I will deliver. So I don't want to work for you. Their point is, if you don't trust in me, then why are you giving me this work? If you don't trust that Brahma Vidya will give you moksha, why are you pursuing Brahma Vidya, wasting your time? So therefore, you have to take the risk of renouncing karma. And that is why Bhashyakara is saying that. One way of ensuring that you renounce the karma is sannyasa nishta. And that's why he is emphasizing that if you have sannyasa nishta, Brahma Vidya will bless you. So sannyasa nishta eva Brahma Vidya. And as I said, Bhashyakara emphasizes this not only in this Upanishad, after Upanishad in Brahma Sutra Bhashyam, Bhagavad Gita Bhashyam, everywhere he will deal with this particular topic. That karma support is not required for moksha sadhanam, for moksha, gaining moksha by jnanam. Jnanam itself is capable of giving moksha. Karma samuchaya is not required. And that is the main technical point Bhashyakara is emphasizing. But non-sannyasi should not feel bad about it. We need not understand this or interpret this that only sannyasis will get moksha I will not get moksha because I am a grihastha. That wrong understanding should not come. What Bhashyakara here is emphasizing and what is important is not physical sannyasa, not formal sannyasa, but the sannyasa spirit. Anyone who has got the sannyasa spirit of vairagyam, all of us have got, every one of us has got the spirit of sannyasa, the vairagya, mumukshutva. If you have got that spirit, you will get moksha through jnana. Simple example, as a child, we have played with so many toys. Isn't it? At that time, we think the whole toys belong to us, and without those toys, we will not be even able to sleep. And that's why some children, they take some toys and they will actually hug those toys while sleeping. Let the child grow up little more, 7 years, 8 years. It will develop a vairagyam towards those toys. Vairagyam is not dvesha, it is not hatred. It is to understand that these things are no longer important to me in my life. I don't need them for leading my life. That is vairagyam, and all of us have done it. All of us have got the vairagyam spirit in us. Only thing is, over a period of time, we forget that. We ignore that. And become more and more and more entangled in our raga dvesha problems. And that leads to samsara. What is required in sannyasa spirit is this type of vairagyam and also mumukshutvam. One must intensely feel this what's that, misery of samsara, day in and day out. As you grow older, even getting up from bed becomes a big issue. So one has to understand that for me, for moksha, nothing else is required. And that conviction is reflected in life also. So that person is a sannyasi. And for that person, Brahma Vidya Moksha Sadhanam na karma sahita. What Bhashyakara says, karma sahita means which is accompanied by, is associated with karma. So jnana alone gives moksha and not jnana karma samuchaya. This is the idea. Na karma sahita iti. And this idea, Bhashyakara says, Veda itself is presenting in this Upanishad. It's not something I have cooked up because I am a sannyasi. So you may think that I am doing promotion for sannyasis, getting more and more sannyasis into my fold because I want more shishyas, sannyasi shishyas. He says, no. This Upanishad itself in the mantra, in the two mantras, Bhaikshcharyam Charantah and Sannyasa Yogat, Iti cha Bruvan Darshayati. Iti Darshayati. Kaha Darshayati? Veda Darshayati. Veda itself is showing this particular idea that Brahma Vidya, which is associated with sannyasa, renunciation of karma alone, is the means for moksha, and not the Brahma Vidya which is associated with karma. And how does Veda show that? By this Vakya, Iti Bruvan, saying this sentence. So he says, this idea Veda itself is presenting in this Upanishad, in these two mantras. Bhaikshcharyam Charanta. The expression Bhaikshcharyam is an expression indicating sannyasa life. Charanta literally means moving about. So moving about for Bhaikshcharyam, for getting alms, Bhiksha. So those people who are moving about with a bowl, begging for bhiksha are qualified for Brahma Vidya Moksha Sadhana. We'll see mantras in detail later. Next one is Sannyasa Yoga. Many of you would have heard this mantra. Vedanta Vijnana Sunishchitartah Sannyasa Yogat Yataya Shuddha Sattvaah Te Brahma Lokeshu Paranta Kale Paramrita Parimuchyanti Sarve. This mantra comes in Kaivalya Upanishad and also in this Mundaka Upanishad. So, here sannyasa yoga means by association with sannyasa. These people, yatayaha, the sannyasis, they become shuddha sattvaha, become free from all remaining impurity, including the ignorance, and they attain moksha. So, in this mantra, sannyasa yoga is presented as one of the requisites for Brahma Vidya becoming the means for moksha. Remember, all these arguments and these evidences which Bhashyakara is producing to emphasize only one point, that the adhikari for Brahma Vidya is a person with sannyasa nishtha. That is his only aim. That point he wants to emphasize. Of course, I will just highlight one more small technical point. Not very important this stage, but still I will highlight. Well, later on it may become a problem. What is that? This mantra, Bhaikshcharyam Charantah, is a mantra which is coming in first Mundaka, second Khanda, 11th mantra. And actually, it does not come in the context of Brahma Vidya. It comes in the context of Brahma Upasana. So then one may wonder why Bhashyakara is quoting a Brahma Upasana mantra in the context of Brahma Vidya. Because I mean, you cannot quote out of context, isn't it? The discussion is about Brahma Vidya. And Bhashyakara is quoting a mantra from which is occurring in the Mundaka Upanishad under the topic of Brahma Upasana. So this is the question. Adi Shankara is not talking about it. Bhashyakara is not talking about it. But then what is happening is one commentator. He says that Bhashyakara is using Kaimuttika Nyaya here. What is Kaimuttika Nyaya? Kimu uta Kaimuttika. He says if sannyasa yoga, renunciation of other karmas is talked about in the context of Brahma Upasana itself, then what to talk of this Brahma Vidya, which is an exclusive pursuit, which requires exclusiveness in the pursuit. So if that sannyasa yoga is required for Brahma Upasana, it will be all the more required for Brahma Vidya pursuit. So, Kaimuttika Nyayena, this quotation is to be understood. See, this is the beauty of all commentaries and all that. Because this doubt we will not get. First of all, we don't know, we have not studied the Upanishad, we don't know if these mantras coming in which context, right? And suppose even if we do that, we will not remember that Bhashyakara has actually quoted this mantra in the context of Brahma Vidya. Even if we know that, then we will not even question why should Bhashyakara question like that. Or correct, is he quoting the wrong mantra just to emphasize his point? So the commentators, the Tikakaras, Tippanikara, they come to the rescue. They say, this is how we have to understand. Well, Bhashyakara will never be wrong. When he is quoting something, he knows what he is doing. He may not explain it in so many words. Because Alpaksharam, Bhashyakara uses very, very minimum words in the Bhashyam. We have to expand them. It is just like, in Diwali and all that, in my time, they used to get one fire cracker called snake, this thing. It will be a small pellet, like what you can call, all this vitamin C tablet and all, you have seen a small one. You light that, it will become big one, snake-like thing it will become. So Bhashyakara's words are also like that. One small 1, 2, 3 words he has said. Out of that you can draw meanings running into paragraphs. So Kaivuttika Nyayena, this quotation is to be understood. And as I said, I am clarifying this because later on when we see the mantra, and by chance you remember the context, then you will have a problem in connecting. And right now we don't have a problem because we don't know in which context this mantra appears. But we have to be honest in the beginning itself, so that we are not caught on the wrong foot. Iti cha bruvan darshayati. So as I said, we have to supply the Kartrupadam. The agent of darshayati is Vedaha. So Vedaha darshayati. So in this particular paragraph, we studied Adhikari was talked about. Who is the Adhikari? A sannyasi who is sadhana chatushtaya sampanna. Not any sannyasi, mind you. Only one who is sadhana chatushtaya sampanna. That sampatti should never be given up. That's a permanent wealth. That particular idea should be there wherever adhikaritvam is talked about. So sadhana chatushtaya sampanna sannyasi is the main adhikari. Sadhana chatushtaya sampanna grihastha is also an adhikari. But the main adhikari is presented here as a sannyasi. And sannyasa indicates conviction that jnanam alone can give moksha, not having any reliance on karma as the means for moksha. That is how we have to understand sannyasa nishtha. Non-reliability on karma as the means for moksha. So next one, we go to the next topic. Next, Bhashyakara gives another reason why Brahma Vidya along with karma is not the means for moksha. So after giving Shruti Pramana by way of those two mantras for karma rahita Brahma Vidya moksha sadhanam, now he gives Yukti Pramana. Shruti based Yukti, based on logical reasoning. So Bhashyakara is saying, even if you think logically, karma sahita Brahma Vidya will not be moksha sadhana. That is what he wants to point out. Now we will again read this. Okay, you can all unmute and read after me. Vidya karma virodhacha.
Vidya karma virodhacha
Nahi
nahi
brahmatmaikatva darshanena.
brahmatmike darshanena
Saha
saha
karma
karma
swapnepi
swapnepi
sampadhayitum shakyam
sampadaitum shakyam
vidyayah
vidyayah
kala visheshana bhavat
कालविशेषणा भावात्
aniyata nimittatvat
अनियतनिमित्तत्वात्
kala sankocha anupapattihi
कालसङ्कोचानुपपत्तिः
yattu grihasteshu
यत्तु गृहस्थेषु
brahma vidya sampradaya kartritvadi lingam
ब्रह्मविद्या सम्प्रदायकर्तृत्वादिलिङ्गम्
natat stitanyayam
स्थितं न्यायम्
baditum utsahate
बाधितुमुच्यते
nahi vidishate napi
नहि ईचते नापि
तमः प्रकाशयोः
समप्रकाशयोः
एकत्र सद्भावः
एकत्र सद्भावः
शक्यते कर्तुम्
शक्यते कर्तुम्
किमुत
किमुत
लिङ्गैः
लिङ्गैः
केवलैः इति
केवलैः
धन्यवाद. Thank you. Good. So here Bhashyakara starts the logical argument, presentation of the logic with the words Vidya Karma Virodacha. Just full stop. This is this is the beauty of Bhashyakara. As I said, Alpaksharam. Minimum words he will say, and then let everything else you complete the sentence. Where if you look Vidya Karma Virodacha, it's not a complete sentence so far as Sanskrit is concerned. Even does not say because. He just say Vidya is opposed to karma. That's all. What will you understand? Why Vidya is saying Vidya is opposite to karma? So what we have to do? We have to complete the sentence. Vidya karma virodacha na karma samuchita vidya moksha sadhanam. That is how we have to complete the sentence. And that's why I say, Bhashyam study, if you are really interested, is a very beautiful journey. You improve so many things. Your Sanskrit you improve, vocabulary you improve, grammar you improve. So many benefits are there. And also thinking you improve. How Bhashyakara thinks. Because if you just say Shruti is saying all these things, and that what is Shruti is saying doesn't appeal to you. Because our mind is only will go by logical reason. So Bhashyakara says, even logically you think this will be the case. So that is how we have to now complete the sentence and then read Vidya karma virodhacha na karma samuchita vidya moksha sadhanam. So virodha means opposition. Because he says karma is opposed to vidya. And here of course we know vidya refers to Brahma Vidya. He says Brahma Vidya and karma, this knowledge of Brahman and karma, action, cannot go together. Especially Vaidika karma, they are opposed to each other. And therefore they cannot go together. This is the logic. And what is the logic? It is just like we cannot have darkness in a well-lighted room because darkness and light cannot coexist due to being opposite in nature. That we all agree. In a well-lighted room, there won't be any darkness. Because light and darkness are opposed. Now, how does this logic apply to Brahma Vidya and Karma? So let us understand. Brahma Vidya is of the nature of understanding I am Brahma. And what is that Brahma? Brahman is defined in the Shastra as Ashabdham, Asparsham, Arupam, Avyayam. That which is not having any quality. That which is distinct from this Shariratraya. So this understanding that I am distinct from these three bodies will definitely imply that I am Akarta, I am Abhokta. Because all things, all karmas are done at what level? At my body level. All enjoyments are also at the body level. And also, directly this is talked about in the Shastra. That Brahman is Naham Hanye Na Hanyate. Kathopanishad, Bhagavad Gita, all that the sentence is there. Naham Hanye Na Hanyate. So, understanding of Brahman is in the form of understanding I am Akarta Abhokta. And he says this understanding cannot go along with karma, which involves this particular understanding that I am Karta. In the Vaidika karmas, which Jnana Karma Samuchayavadi is talking about, what is my position? I am a Karta, I am doing karma, I am a doer, I have to do all these Nitya Naimitika karmas, these Vihita karmas, which will give rise to Punya, which will supplement the Jnanam and give me Moksha. This is their approach. We have already discussed it in the last class. And they also say that mere knowledge will not give moksha. For them, mere knowledge is like a satellite. It requires a rocket to be launched. And the Nitya Naimitika karmas are like a rocket. They will put this Jnanam satellite into the orbit of moksha. So you cannot do away with Nitya Naimitika karmas. So what does this boil down to? Kartritvam is involved in karma, whereas akartritvam is emphasized in vidya. Being a doer is emphasized in karma, whereas I am a non-doer is emphasized in vidya. And these two cannot go together. And therefore, jnana karma samuchaya is not possible. So on the one side, I am saying in Brahma Vidya, Aham Akarta. And on the other side, I will have to say, I am Karta. So I am Akarta and I am Karta are opposite attributes. And therefore he says, Vidya karma virodhacha. Na karma sahita vidya moksha sadhanam. And this is the Sangraha Vakya. Sangraha Vakya means the headline. But that is another style of Bhashyakara. In any paragraph, first sentence will be a small sentence giving the gist of what he is going to talk about. And then he will expand it. And this is like, in radio, TV and all that. Those days we used to have, first they will give the headlines and then news in detail. They will give. One by one they will elaborate. So expounding that idea, Bhashyakara says, Nahi brahmatmaikatva darshanena saha karma swapnepi sambadayutum shakyam. Nahi karma sambadayatum shakyam. Karma action. Nahi is indeed, or he indeed, na sambadayatum shakyam. Not possible to do or effect or bring about along with what Brahmatmaikatva darshanena saha. Along with the understanding that the vision of Brahma and Atma being one. So, Brahma ekatva darshanam is Brahmatmaikatva darshanam. That means oneness of Brahma and Atma. Darshanam means the vision. Saha means along with. So along with the vision of Atma, the self being Brahman, action cannot be done. And not only in waking state, but it is not possible to combine them even in a dream, he says. Swapnepi. And he says this to emphasize the impossibility. If you on the one hand say Aham Brahmasmi, on the other hand, you are continuing to do Nitya Naimittika karma, considering yourself as a Karta, then you are a schizophrenic character. You are a double personality. You are confused. You don't know whether you are a Karta or you are a Akarta. You want to ride in two boats and eventually you will drown. Even in dreams, we cannot imagine such a situation. Because what happens in dream, we see so many impossible things, isn't it? For example, you may see in the dream that you are fighting with a lion and killing it. Or you are having an argument with your wife and winning it. All these are in dream possible. But even in dream, I do not see that I am sitting on my own shoulders, isn't it? We will not see because the samskara is not there. And therefore, Bhashyakara wants to emphasize that it is totally impossible to combine jnanam and karma. Therefore, swapnepi sambadayitum na shakyam. Because of vidya karma virodhacha. Because of being opposite in nature. Like andhakara and prakasha. Darkness and light. So then somebody may say, okay, so what? Even if they are opposite in nature, but what we can do is we can do time distribution. For some time I will do karma, sometime I will do jnanam. Half an hour I will do karma, sandhya vandanam, etc. Half an hour I will do jnanam, study the Upanishads. Then again after that, another half an hour madhyanam, karma I will do. Then after that I will do jnanam. So I can repeat this cycle. Why not that? And this many people say. We can do both, not necessarily at the same time. We agree, but one after the other we can do. So they are questioning, why are you saying that jnanam and karma cannot go together? Are you going to study Vedanta for the whole day or what? Maybe in a day you study Vedanta for a couple of hours, 1 hour to attend a class and 1 hour to revise. And that too not every day, maybe once in a week or twice in a week. Rest of the day you are free. So you can do karma. You have the time. So why jnana karma samuchaya is not possible is their question. They say it is very much possible. We can do sometimes jnanam, sometimes karma. And all this, mind you, looks very logical. We do so many activities the whole day. So we can combine. Bhashyakara discusses this in the next sentence. We already read. I will just read it once again. विद्याया है काल विशेषाभावात अनियत निमित्तत्वात् काल संकोच अनुपपत्ति. This is a very, very loaded sentence. To understand this sentence, we have to understand some aspects about karma. But this sentence, next sentence is now very loaded sentences. In fact, my guru in the Gurukulam used to say, each sentence we can take one full class to explain. Because not only the sentences of Bhashyakara, but the interpretation of the Tika, Tippani, etc. is so much that we can talk about it for 1 hour. But don't get scared. I will not make it so detailed. What I want to point out is that such loaded sentences are there. So let us understand this sentence. This jnana karma samuchayavadi, the shastraikavadi, is talking about samuchaya, combination of jnanam and karma. But which type of karma? Not the karma like going to office, going for a walk, etc. Not the laukika karmas. He is specifically talking about nitya naimittika karma. So his position is jnanam combined with nitya naimittika karma is the means for moksha, is his contention. of the Jnana Karma Samuchaya Vadi. And generally, we translate Nitya Karmas as daily duties. That is not the correct translation. Nitya Karma does not mean daily duties. It means regular duties, regular karma which are necessary. Compulsory regular activities are called Nitya Karma in Vedic language. And when we say Shastra talks about Nitya Karma, it means the karma which are necessarily to be done and which are to be done regularly also. So, Nitya Karma is connected with this regular period of time. It is a recurring period and it is occurring at a particular interval and it is to be done at regular intervals of time. So, Nitya Karma is restricted by a particular recurring period of time. Like Sandhya Vandanam. Sandhya Vandanam is a Nitya Karma. It is generally to be done every day 3 times at the time of Sandhya. Sandhya means joining, junction. That is when the night joins the day early morning, when forenoon joins afternoon at noon time, when evening joins night during evening time, sunset time. So at this time, Sandhya Vandanam is to be done. That's what Shastra says. So this Sandhya Vandanam karma is having what? Kala Sankocha. It is having time limit in the form of regular interval. Similarly, there is a karma which is to be done every 15 days. That karma is called Darsha Purnamasa. Darsha Shraddham also we call. It is to be done every Amavasya and also every Paurnamasya day. Every new moon and full moon day, this karma is to be done. And this is also Nitya Karma. It has to be done at regular intervals of time and it is compulsory. So these are all, examples of Nitya Karma, which we have to understand. This is what Shastra talks means when it talks about Nitya Karma. But Naimittika Karma does not have such regular intervals. When Nimitta, when a particular occasion or event takes place, then this karma is to be done. That which is connected with Nimitta means the occasion or condition is called Naimittika Karma. Like Jata Karma. A karma which is necessarily to be done when a child is born. And this is not done every month, every year and all that. Only once when the child is born, once in the lifetime of a child, Jata Karma is to be done. Another example is Grahana Tarpana. Eclipse, the Tarpanam to be done at eclipse. At that time, particular time, depending on whether it's solar eclipse or lunar eclipse, that Tarpanam should be done. There is no fixed interval of time because this Tarpanam will be done only when Grahanam comes, when there is solar eclipse. And solar eclipse doesn't come regularly every year or after a fixed period of time. So this type of karma is called Naimittika Karma. And the Purva Pakshi, the Shastraika Vadi, is telling that Jnanam should be combined with Nitya Naimittika Karma. And Bhashyakara is insisting that Jnanam is not like Nitya Karma and Naimittika Karma, which is limited by a particular time, a particular period of time, or a particular nimitta. Jnanam is available all the time. Once a person has understood himself to be Brahman, it is not that he understands himself to be Brahman between say 9 o'clock and 10 o'clock, and other periods he loses that understanding and say can do karma. During the time, once he has understood Aham Brahmasmi, during the time he is doing Sandhya Vandanam karma, he will say, oh, that understanding I will keep it aside. I will forget I am Brahman and I will do karma. That doesn't happen. Knowledge, once it comes, it cannot go away. Once a person has understood I am akarta, bhokta, then that understanding is there forever. Like, we know 5 plus 5 is equal to 10. Does that knowledge have got any period limitation? Only in the morning, when I go to school, I will remember 5 plus 5 is 10. Other times I will not remember it. That knowledge is there all the time. It is not that a particular time of the day only I know 5 plus 5 is 10. When knowledge is there, it does not have kala sankocha or nimitta sankocha. There is no restriction of time. Once knowledge has come, it is there always. Knowledge doesn't require a particular time or situation to be remembered. Any situation, Pashyan, Shrunvan, Sprishan, Jigran, Achnan, Gachan, Swapan, all these situations, knowledge is there. Naiva kinchit karomi. That knowledge is there. Bhagavad Gita is very clear in that. And therefore, we cannot say that let this person do karma when he does not have jnanam. And when jnanam is there, you bring in karma. When jnanam is there, you don't do karma. That type of a situation is not there. So, nitya naimittika karma can be combined because they have got kala sankocha. They have got time limit, both of them, nitya karma and naimittika karma. Upasana can be combined with them. Kamya karma can be combined with both of them. But jnanam does not have time limit. It has no kala sankocha hai. And therefore, it cannot be combined with karma. Once jnanam is there, aham brahman, aham akarta, then it is there all the time. And therefore, jnanam cannot be combined with karma, which is of opposite nature. That is the point Bhashyakara is highlighting. And therefore, jnana karma samuchaya is not possible. That is what is said in this paragraph. Vidyayaha, of this knowledge, kala vishesha bhavat, because of the absence of specific time, aniyata nimittatvat, aniyata nimittatvat, because of not having definite condition, kala sankocha anupapattihi, there is untenability of time restriction. So this goes with vidyaya. So for knowledge, there is kala sankocha anupapattihi. As I said, kala sankocha means time restriction. Anupapattihi means untenability or impossibility. So vidyaya kala sankocha anupapattihi is the main sentence. For vidya, there is impossibility or untenability of restriction of time. Why? Because kala vishesha bhavat. The restriction of time is possible when it is having a particular kala vishesha, like sandhya time, etc. Nitya karma. So here, kala vishesha abhavat is hinting the nature of nitya karma. So vidya is not like with nitya karma. Nitya karma has to be done only at a particular specific time. And so nitya karma has got kala vishesha bhava hai, the presence of restriction, and kala vishesha abhavat is indicating that vidya, unlike nitya karma, does not have any time restriction. Like if I am a man or I am a woman, this knowledge is there always, isn't it? We have this knowledge all the time. Even in sleeping also we may have. Because we will not dream in our sleep as if we are a woman. Isn't it? In dream also I will dream I am a man. My wife will dream she is a woman. So this knowledge which we have, it is not restricted to any particular time or condition. Even though in the vision of the Shastra, the entire Maya world is mithya, entire Anatma is mithya, still it is knowledge. And that false knowledge also you have all the time. Yeah. when you can have false knowledge all the time, what to talk of right knowledge? Therefore, right knowledge has no time restriction, whereas Nitya Naimittika Karma, both have got time restrictions and also restriction of a particular event occurring. This is the point. Vashyakara logically he wants to now argue that these both cannot be combined. That is what he said in the paragraph. More we will see in the next class. Okay. Om Purnamadah Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadhaya Purnameva Vasishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om. Thank you all very much.
Thank you.
ಧನ್ಯವಾದ ಗುರುಜಿ.
I hope all of you have marked your
ಧನ್ಯವಾದ.
attendance.
ಧನ್ಯವಾದ.
ಧನ್ಯವಾದ.
Hari Om Guruji, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Guruji. Hari Om.
Hari Om. Thank you.
Thank you, Guruji,
Mm.
for the nice session. But I have a doubt, which is probably more like you listen to the Ramayana whole night and morning you ask what is the relationship between Rama and Sita. Probably, my apologies for that. But here, my simple doubt is Nitya and Naimittika Karma need not be done by someone who is on the Jnana Marg, or should not be done.
Need not be done.
Need not be done. Yeah.
If you do it, continue to do it, that means that you do not. What is your goal? Goal is moksha. Correct? So that means what the Upanishad says, by jnanam only you will get moksha, you don't need to do anything else. Correct?
Yes, yes, Guruji. But then we have this.
For what purpose you are doing this Nitya Naimittika Karma?
No, Guruji,
The
my
reason.
question also relates to like a sannyasi jnani and grihastha jnani. A grihastha jnani, while he's still carrying out his grihastha duties, he has to. Does he not have to continue the Nitya Naimittika Karma, at least as a matter of discipline for the family or the
Why?
children, or
Why? What is the purpose?
no, is not knowing very well that that's not going to give him the moksha. It's only the knowledge, but for the worldly, when you're in the world, when you're in the samsara, you cannot completely give up this because your children are following your example of doing these karmas. So is that
children are following, correct?
Yeah.
You can do that karmas only under one condition.
Uh-huh.
Loka sangraham. For the benefit of the mankind as a whole. Because the moment you have got sannyasa nishtha, where is the question of children, wife, and things like that? When I am
no, that's for someone who has already got the Brahma Jnana.
Brahmasmi. When I say I am Brahmasmi, Brahman does not have any attachments. Wife, children, grandchildren, Brahman doesn't have.
Okay, I was distinguishing between someone who is still on the Jnana Marga path and the one who is already a Brahma Jnani.
No, even as a grihastha, if you have a sannyasa nishtha, what does it get converted into? See, no karma will give you, benefit to children and things like that and all. You know why? If we understand, everybody, whatever karma he does, the benefit goes to him only. The only exception is between husband and wife, where there is an exception given in the Shastra itself about the performance of karma. But what is happening? Over a long period of time, we have been told you do this karma, it will be good for your family, it will be good for your children, it will be good for your grandchildren, etc. That is not true. If the children want to earn punya, they have to do the karma themselves. I cannot earn punya and give it to children.
No.
So this has been told only why? To encourage us to continue doing karma so that there is a more and more punya is there. We earn more and more punya. Otherwise, if you say, see, there are problems, There are many people I mean, recent example I came across. In our society, there is this problem of stray cats. Lot
Yes.
of people are feeding the stray cats. And what these stray cats do, they enter houses and then, create a big nuisance and,
Mm.
spoil the place and all that.
Yes.
There is a tussle between two groups of people. Some people say, get rid of these stray cats, and they are coming only because you are feeding them. So they are telling you don't feed them. They say, no, 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 no. Cats feeding, I'll get punya. I have to feed them. Then he say, you do one thing, take the cats to somewhere and go and feed them there. Or take them to your house and feed them. Why you are feeding them in public place so that they eat and then they poop around all the places and the people are disturbed and there is a stink coming. So this is the problem.
Mm.
Problem is, we have been told certain things. Oh, it is good punya you will get by feeding cats. But actually, are you getting punya? You are getting papa only. Because you are disturbing others. You are causing himsa to others. Isn't it?
Mm.
Like that, there are a lot of beliefs we have got. Lot of beliefs we have got.
So these Nitya Naimitika karmas which are prescribed by the Vedas, like the Veda
But,
Purvakanda.
but what the Upanishad say or what Bhashyakara is saying, Nitya Naimitika karma has been prescribed for what purpose? Have you understood? He asks.
Chitta Shuddhi.
Chitta Shuddhi. Once you have come to Jnana Marga, that means you have already achieved Chitta Shuddhi. At least fair degree of Chitta Shuddhi. That is what has brought you to Jnana Marga and Upanishad studies. Then why do you want to continue that Chitta Shuddhi through that? You continue Jnana Marga, it itself will clean up your Nitya Naimiti, your this Chitta Shuddhi rather. It will create more and more Chitta Shuddhi. Or you convert those karmas into dharmika karmas. You do lot of dharmika karyam, which will also give you lot of punya, lot of chitta shuddhi, reaching out karmas.
Or karma yoga.
Karma yoga, do all that with karma yoga attitude.
Attitude.
I mean, for example, you donate some things to a temples, people will benefit. We have discussed all this right in the Tattva Bodha itself.
Yes, we have.
Because whatever you do, the more people benefit out of that. That creates Chitta Shuddhi. You do Annadanam and don't advertise, I am doing Annadanam on the occasion of my father's birthday. Don't do that. When you are trying to earn fame or some this thing through doing all this reaching out karmas.
I think my question was with an imaginary situation where father has been doing all the Nitya Naimitika karmas regularly, but then at some point he goes on the Jnana Marga and then he stops doing those, and then what will the son follow? Unless the father should be competent enough to explain to his son why he stopped the Nitya Naimitika karma.
Not necessary, because I'll tell you what. Like I think last class we discussed. Everybody taking to all these karmas, doing karmas, or even coming to Jnana Marga, it is not because father is doing. It is they are born with those samskaras. My father never did any karma in his life. In fact, he was at least up to a particular stage in his life, he didn't even believe in God. He had a lot of suffering, personal suffering. So he said, this God is a nonsense, nothing. Why he is making me suffer? I don't believe in him. But of course, later on, in a later stage in life, he had some dream or something, Sai Baba and something, that is the Shirdi Sai Baba. Then he started getting some interest in God and things like that and all. It's a different story. But if you look at it, right from a very young age, I had the samskar of doing puja and things like that and all. My mother, as I told in the last class, my mother encouraged me. She taught me the slokas because she found that I had interest. The same slokas she taught to my brother also. Even today, he doesn't do anything. Maximum he does is after taking bath, he will go before the altar and do some little bit, 5 minutes or 3 minutes, 4 minutes, some 2 flowers he will put and all. At least that is good. I mean, at least that Shraddha is there. But otherwise, no Sandhya Vandanam, no puja, nothing he does. Same thing. We both have been brought up in the same situation. My father did not do anything. My brother doesn't do anything. I am doing 3 times Sandhya Vandana karma. Why? Why? I mean, this is because we must understand that we have been, I would say, made to believe a lot of things for not as a, I would not criticize it, for a certain, to incentivize for us to do certain things. That once you understand all those things, then you must be very clear in your mind. For example, now you may ask a question, why do Shankaracharyas in the various Mata, Kanchi Mata, and all that they are doing this puja and all? Isn't it?
Yeah.
Good question. You must ask that question.
Yeah. I mean, I feel that's always been there because one who preached the Advaita, he composed so many works and so many mathas and so many.
Religiously, every day, morning, afternoon, evening, they do puja. Why? That's for Loka Sangraha. Their puja sankalpam is, I am doing this offering for the entire world to benefit. Let there be peace. Kale varshatu parjanya hai, prithvi sasyashalini, deshoyam shobha rahita hai, brahmana santu nirbhaya hai. All these are my prayers. And these prayers I am offering you to you, the cosmic powers, so that you take care of this entire world. That is the Loka Sangraha part of it. Even at home also, you can continue to do that karma as karma bhasa. I told in the earlier class, karma abhasa, you can do the karmas. But with the understanding that semblance of only karma I am doing, it is for the purpose of Loka Sangraha. For the purpose of my own Chitta Shuddhi, more and more Chitta Shuddhi, I am doing that. That's all. But directly it is not connected with what I am. It is just a sort of a, you can call it a double role I am playing, one role being a false role. My main this thing, I want to become a jnani. I want to gain jnanam. For jnanam, nothing else is required.
Yeah, that understanding
Nothing is required is Shravanam, Mananam, Nididhyasa. That's all. Nothing else is required. That is what Bhashyakara is now trying to emphasize.
Right. Okay, correct.
That's all.
Yeah. Yes, correct. Yeah.
So
thank you very much, Kurush.
the choice is yours. I mean, if you don't feel, you don't need to feel guilty. That's the point. And that's what, sometimes I am not able to do Sandhya when I'm traveling somewhere. I don't feel guilty at all. I don't feel guilty. Even from the Shastric point of view, Paramacharya was there. Somebody asked him that, Brahmins are not, I mean, people who are doing this Nitya Karma are not supposed to travel overseas, right? Cross the ocean and go. But that today we see so many people going. Is that not a Papa Karma? What was the answer of Paramacharya? Paramacharya said, in those days, people used to travel by ship.
Yes.
When you travel by ship, you are on the sea, on the water, not on solid earth for days together. And for you to do these karmas, you must be sitting on the earth. Dharti, that is what is that called? Earth should be there. You must be sitting. You cannot do this karma on water.
Right.
But these days, you take a flight, within 12 hours, you reach the other place. Right?
Yes.
And in the Shastra, it said that you must not skip chanting Gayatri Mantra for more than 3 days. Right? This is Paramacharya's explanation. I'm not making it.
Yeah, no. So you
if you
mentioned
are
this
able to, even if you miss 1 or 2 sessions, if you are within 3 days, if you are able to again catch up, then Shastra permits you to do that. So that rule which was there at that time does not apply now. And that is why, what happened?
Mhm.
Dayendra Saraswati was planning a trip to China,
Uh-huh.
where he knew the Shastra, right?
Yes.
He was the student of Paramacharya. He knew it. But then there was so much of public opposition, where people
Uh-huh.
are ignorant. So he finally dropped that. He said,
Oh.
let me not venture. Because I am a
Mm.
guru, you know. I am a
Mm.
guru of a mutt. So I cannot I understand, but people don't understand these things. So
True.
what I should do it, I will not do it. So he dropped the China trip. So
Right.
these things are there. You know, we must more you understand, more you study, more you interact with all the Mahatma, the more you come to know about all these things.
Right. Right. Right, Guruji. Thank you very much,
Hari
Guruji.
Om.
Thank you very much. Hari Om, Guruji. Thank you very much. Pranam.
Guruji, actually, despite coming into the spiritual path,
Hmm.
in one way or other, if you look at it, we are all selfish.
Yeah.
Okay, selfish for one aspect is okay to get moksha. That is one side, and on the other side, still that vairagyam has not 100% came. Now also, when we pray for only our children, yeah, or our close relatives. Okay,
Yes.
and and really, does it make any difference to them as such?
See,
Will it have any positive impact?
if,
Because
if
even now it has gone to the extent that children are telling, please pray for us, because they don't have time for that. Please pray. That
you're
job
right. I
also.
mean, see, that is what, you know, because we are a very small group of people here who are discussing these things, trying to understand about all these things, right? Generally, nobody discusses all these things and they go by whatever belief, whatever they have been told. A ignorant father teaches his ignorant son about all ignorant things in the world, and the
True,
son
true.
believes everything. That is what is the, you know, going on in the entire world, rather. But when we understand, see, we must understand how law of karma operates.
Yes.
So ask a question. Suppose your child is crying with hunger. Oh, you say, oh my God, my child is crying. I will go and eat some few sandwiches, and my child's hunger will be taken care of. Will it work?
No, it will not.
If that won't work, then how you are doing puja is going to help your child?
Correct. Correct.
You have to get something from the cosmic powers. You have to do it yourself. The only
Very
thing
good.
is by you are doing all these things by karma and puja and all, you are creating an environment in the house
Exactly.
that if the child has got those samskaras can catch fire.
Correct.
That's all.
Okay. Very good.
Nothing more than that. Otherwise, you are doing karma is not. See, the only exception which is given in the Shastra, I mentioned it, I will complete that also,
Please.
is when you get married.
Hmm.
Because in our Shastra, both men and women are supposed to go through this Upanayanam ceremony. Correct?
Yes.
Olden times, what used to happen, girls used to, the Upanayanam ceremony for girls used to be performed at the age of 7 or 9. So for the boys also. Okay.
Hmm.
Then once the Upanayanam ceremony is performed, they both have got the sacred thread.
Yes.
Now for woman to work in the kitchen and do all her other things, because once you are wearing the sacred thread, men can be without any upper cloth.
Okay.
Women cannot be. Correct?
Yes.
They have to, as they grow, they have to wear upper
Yeah.
cloth and, you know, full up to the leg, up to the feet, they have to wear cloth, they're fully covered.
Yes. Yes.
That's how nature has made them. So what used to happen, and this is the reason why the marriages used to take place in the childhood itself, because at the time of marriage,
No.
the woman will transfer her Upanayanam to the boy,
Okay.
and which is equivalent to the woman giving power of attorney to the boy to perform all karmas on her behalf also.
Okay.
That is why Upanayanam we get 3 plus 3, 2 sets of threads rather. Yeah, of course, you may not know it because in our Brahmin community, at the time of marriage, what extra set of this thread is given to us.
Okay.
Nobody knows why it is. Nobody asks also, why you are giving me this extra?
Okay.
All of a sudden, the reason is that. And the rituals, the mantras which are done at the time of marriage now, most of the mantras, many of the mantras I would say, are relating to Upanayanam being done for the woman, for the girl.
Okay.
Yeah. So they do all that Upanayanam karma for the girl at the time of marriage. Simultaneously, instead of asking her to wear this thread, they give the thread to the boy that you wear it on her behalf. And now onwards, all the karmas that you do, 50% of the punya will go to your wife.
Oh, okay.
Right? And all the papas you do, you will retain with yourself.
Oh.
And the wife is told, all the punya you earn on your own, you will keep it. No sharing. But all the papas you do, you will share it 50% with your husband. This is the formula. Now you see how our Shastras are favoring these women. And we talk of women being persecuted. So the man has to take care that the woman does not do any papa, because he is going to get 50% of that.
Oh.
And the woman has to take care that the man does all his karmas properly so that she will get 50% of the punya. That is the only exception in the Shastra of sharing papa punya. There is no other rule which says that if I do karma, you will get punya, or you do karma, I get punya, or papa. Nothing like that. But then it is all a workable thing to make people understand and all that. So the people say, okay, yeah, it doesn't matter whether you say like this so that people do right things. And because when we quote the children, you do this, it will be bad for your children, and we will be afraid. Oh, see, we may be able to bear a lot of pain. We may be able to give our spouse also a lot of pain. When it comes to children, we don't want to see the children in any pain at all. So that, people use in order to encourage you to sort of push you to do all these right karmas rather. Otherwise, if we understand this, I'm not saying don't do it, but do for your sake. Whatever you do, you will get somebody else is going to do. You can tell the children, you also do follow what I have done, you will get.
Yes.
That you can do.
Agree. Thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you.
But only thing is, unfortunately, nowadays even the rituals are being diluted for the sake of comfort.
That is, nobody can stop it.
Unfortunately, if you go to a marriage, you will find actually the videographer and photographers are actually dominating than the priest who is sitting there.
Exactly. They even dictate the priest, don't stand here, don't sit here.
Correct. Very unfortunate.
But it is next stage is coming. They don't do this, go through all these rituals at all. Go to this thing. The only Sakshi is the registrar.
The registered office. Okay.
Registrar is the Sakshi. In front of him, sign and then matter over. So let us come to that, but what to do? We can't. This is Kali Yuga Dharma. All these things will happen, more and more will happen. But this thing should be, get escape from all these things. Get moksha and get rid of this.
God bless.
We got the secret now. We know the secret how to get rid of this.
Very true.
So once we know that, pursue that and get rid of it. That's all. Maximum 2 more janmas, we will have moksha. Finished.
Hariom, thank you.
Thank you.
At least we are lucky to be already chosen to come into this path.
Exactly.
So, and it is a continuity is still there. It is being assured.
Yes.
So one thing we can be very sure of, at least our next Janma will be another Narajanma.
Yes, correct.
At least
that is the guarantee. Next Janma, guarantee Narajanma. Yeah, I will deal with that also. I think when I make notes, I don't remember whether it was Bhagavad Gita or this. I think Gita itself, it is, I will be telling that question is asked, what happens to the Sanchita Papas?
Hmm.
See, you are not become mukta. That is, you are not attained got moksha. When you become a jnani, only all these papas are gone away.
Right.
So what happens? You are now doing Shravanam, Mananam, etc. At that time, the papas are there. So will not those papas act as impediments or obstacles?
No.
Now the answer to that is, when you are seriously pursuing Shravanam, Mananam, etc. and going in the spiritual path,
Okay.
those papas, an interim stay order is given. Don't, you cannot operate now because this fellow is on a different route.
Yes, yes.
See, if this fellow, fails or he stops doing that, then you can operate. Till such time he is doing Shravanam, Mananam, Nididhyasanam, there is a stay order. So that is, the Shastra says,
That itself is a great blessing.
that's a great blessing. That's a great blessing. So, more than one, way, we have got the blessings having come to this path.
Correct.
And all that we require now is our free will, because we are on the right track, right? We require the free will to continue in this track, come what may. That is what is required.
Okay.
Yeah.
For that also, the grace has to flow from.
Grace is, yeah, exactly. But that grace is only continued flow of grace will make sure that the interim stay is operative. That is what it is. Yeah.
Hari Om.
Okay,
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thanks a lot.
Thank you very much.
Hariom, Guruji. Thank
Hari
you.
Om. Yes. Tell me, Santaji.
Guruji, on a lighter note, this is here in the West, registered marriage is a must. Whether you get married religiously or not, registered marriage is a must. And my son got married in the Balaji temple here. And there you have to have the certificate of the registered marriage to get religiously married in the temple.
Why in the West? Even in India, it has become compulsory. Because any marriage is not recognized as a marriage unless it is registered. The only thing is, the registrar for registering the marriage will take the actual marriage, that is the Vaidika marriage which has taken place, as a evidence for registering the marriage. That's all.
But here they have to get married in front of the registrar.
Yes.
They have to take, they take oath and they take.
Oh, they get married. Here it is not like that. You can go and register the marriage.
Yeah,
you don't need to go through the marriage ceremony again. Huh?
Yeah.
That is there. That because probably it is Indian culture, so they know this is what it is. Western people don't understand all these things.
Yeah.
So
okay, Guruji. Sorry for the interruption. I think somebody else was going to talk to you.
Shanti, she is gone. Huh? Okay. Yes, Srikanji, what is your question?
Guruji, not a question, just a comment. Today, I mean, time went like just a minute had passed, and you said Purnamada. Actually, the Bhashyam is so engrossing that time passes and you don't realize time has passed.
Yeah.
So nice, Guruji. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Yes, Sulekha ji, your question.
Namaste, Guruji.
There.
My question is actually just a comment as well. It was a very, very beautiful class and a lot of information that was provided. But the information I think requires a lot more, for me anyways, contemplation. Yeah. I did have one comment that came to mind when there was in Satsanga, when there was a question raised about our own children and how does this punya transfer to them and prayer. In the last few months, I think I have mentioned to you that this phrase has been coming into my thoughts quite a bit, which is Vasudeva Kutumbakam, where the entire world we consider our family. And this I find has been also a wonderful phrase or mantra to contemplate on for Vairagyam, so that the attachment to only those that are known, it doesn't mean that it is removed. What happens, what I have been noticing is that it has expanded to those that are not known.
Yeah.
So, and it's hard to explain to others. I don't normally explain this because I don't want to hurt anyone's feelings, especially the known people. You know, that the feeling that they have of caring for them is also expanding to those that I don't know. So that same bhava towards the known people is not decreasing, but it has increased or expanded to those I don't know. And that I find has helped also with, at least in my own understanding, this idea of punya and papa not being for oneself necessarily. I understand this should be being for oneself, but the idea of punya for one's own self seems to have also, it's not that it's dissipated, but that feeling that I'm accruing something, that doership is not as strong as it used to be. Not just for any ego sense, but just the idea that whatever I would do for those that I know is also coming to those that I don't know. And the world is smiling quite a bit back. When you smile at the world, I find that the world is smiling back. So it's not my son should get this or please take away any suffering for my family. It's let all of those known and unknown, whether it's human beings or otherwise, let them all be kept safe and in comfort and with love and with joy. And so the class today seems to have brought that forward quite a bit in terms of not only the class itself, but in the satsang, the very wonderful questions that our colleague students have raised about, you know, our own children or our family members or whomever. They are all our family now, I feel.
That's why, you know, our prayer should be Loka Samasta Sukhino Bhavantu. And in that Loka, everybody is included, including our family, ourselves, everybody. So let everybody be happy. When you say that, then everybody is included, isn't it? Mama Kudumba Veva Sukhino Bhavantu, if you say, then there is a problem. Say Loka Samasta, everybody is covered in that. So that is the right approach, in fact. Yeah. Okay.
Thank you, the class.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Hari Om.
Hari Om. Thank you, Guruji.
Hari Om. Thank you. Hari Om. Thank you.
Guruji.
Hari Om.